January 12th, workout breakdown, back day. This one I wanted to go over because it's not necessarily super predicated on the monthly emphasis, but there's enough little details in here that I think it's worth kind of articulating to you guys. So single arm low row, it's fairly self-explanatory. I don't think we necessarily need to go over that. I think everybody kind of knows what that is. Hopefully you guys are tracking these things, writing these down so you have something to reference. The dumbbell cleans, I did want to try to articulate kind of my thoughts on this. Anytime you guys have an Olympic lift on an island, whether it's a slam ball or dumbbells, it's a fantastic opportunity to work on, something that's so technical. And cleans and snatches and, squat cleans and every variation of them, high pulls, etc. All require a lot of repetition and volume for you as a individual to become efficient and proficient at for the long haul. And what I wanted to talk about was on these cleans, I think what everybody sees is, I made it 7 to 10 reps unbroken. And the initial thought process is you just want to kind of tap and go and get through the reps. And whatever weight you have or can manage for that unbroken is, equal to how strong you are or how good you are at the cleans. And the purpose behind these, the purpose of Olympic lifts, technically speaking, from a training perspective, is meant to be very intentful on each individual rep. And that is hard to articulate to a group, or let alone even an individual, when the rep count is 7 to 10. And what I mean by that is it is very easy to get caught in the process of tap and go and momentum and kind of ping-ponging your way through these 7 to 10 reps with a weight that you probably shouldn't be using, but momentum carries you, and not achieving what the purpose of the movement is meant to achieve. And when I say intentful, each rep is supposed to be intentful. That is the purpose of Olympic lifts. It's gotten diluted over the years, although I don't think it's an awful idea to do these things, or I wouldn't tell you to do them. I think it has plenty of value, but in our setting, and for those of you that really want to take these things seriously, each rep from the start of the high pull on the floor and at the top when you're at your shoulders after the hand flip and you're racked at your shoulders, the intent happens at those two places. It's resetting your breathing at the top, making sure your trunk's engaged, you're protecting your spine, your order of operations is correct on the descent. When you get to the ground, right, once you've, invertedly hand flipped or reverse hand flipped, whatever you want to call it, back down to the ground, and your dumbbells are in contact with the ground, right, your point of reference, which we always want a contact point if you have the ability to do so. And if you don't, we can have that conversation separately. But at the bottom, the intent is, where is your weight shifted? Where is the alignment of your knees and your toes? Where, is my chin out of my chest? Is my shoulders rounded forward with the dumbbells? Where are my dumbbells making contact with the ground? Is it in an efficient manner? Is my trunk still engaged? So when I go to generate force, my whole kinetic chain can work together to generate said force as efficiently as possible. And the list goes on. There's a lot of things that occur at the bottom of a deadlift, at the bottom of, I guess technically it could be a deadlift, at the bottom of a clean before you ever get back to the top. And this is important because if you don't learn how to be intentful on all the small things and you don't become habitual with these things and create good habits, what everybody always wants to do, and truly, like everybody, especially in group fitness, is they just want to move as much weight as possible. And at some point, the returns are not going to exceed the risk that you have because you haven't learned how to do all the little things in the middle or in motion of in the middle of a rep, right? And that's what I want these to be. And that means that a lot of times you need to go significantly lighter than you think you do to check on all of these things and make sure your order of operations is correct and make sure you're protecting your back, your spine before you start loading up in weight. And it's not a bad thing. There comes a time with everything, and this even goes for single arm low rows. Are you being intentful with each rep, or are you just kind of going through the motions? Chest press, yada yada. Every lift, the goal is to become so intentful that these habits become just that. They become habits, and at some point down the road, and a lot of you probably figured this out in certain lifts, especially ones you're confident in, ones that you're good at, is that you don't have to think about the movement anymore on such a micro level. And now you can simply just focus on getting stronger and rep counts and weights without worrying about hurting yourself or opening the door to risk, because your habits are so good on an individual rep basis that it's no longer a concern, right? And a lot of us especially again in group fitness, and not just at Core 4, this is worldwide. We skip all the small steps, the micro steps, the intentful steps. We don't learn or teach our bodies these habits, and then we overload, and then we end up hurting ourselves, mid-set because our habits weren't strong enough and they broke down, right? And in this setting, this is like I was saying in the beginning. When these lifts are on an island by themselves and you have time, you have a dedicated amount of time to do them, it is a fantastic opportunity to break down your form, maybe call a coach over to go over it, get a video of yourself on the side doing a couple reps. You can learn so much by seeing a video from the side of your order of operations, where the dumbbells are, the line of motion of your dumbbells, where you're looking, the endless list of things you guys can get from a 10-second video is incredible. So don't be afraid to ask that. But it gives you an opportunity to break things down and maybe ramp your weight up and kind of figure out where that threshold is of when your habits do start to break down. So anyways, that's the first block. I honestly didn't mean to go on that big of a rant of the cleans, but that's kind of how I view every lift, but definitely the Olympic lifts. And if you've heard me talk about, I even have a video of Olympic training and osteoblast training and how good it is for your bone health. This is something you guys, I really think from a trainer's perspective, you really, really want to get comfortable with and become intentful with, especially as you age and we keep our bone health as high as possible. So outside of that, the second block is a you go, I go. This part I did want to talk about. It's a little bit confusing at first. So just to be very clear, if you're watching the video, you have a little bit of an advantage of the people that aren't going to watch the video. And I can already see the confusion coming for sure. So you're going to alternate rounds. And you're going to do 3 rounds. So if I'm partnered with, I'm on partner A and somebody else is partner B, the first round, partner A is going to run. Partner B is going to do nothing. The whole point of this is for you guys to run at the 75% clip or less for a minute, so not kill yourself, and then immediately transition into the calorie skied where you have an open door or autonomy to, redline or kill yourself if you wanted to. Don't actually die, but, try as hard as you'd like to try. And the purpose of this was to get you situated in that composed floor kind of running pace, and then transition to something significantly more aggressive and just see how it feels to transition from a run to a ski erg, which is why the calorie counts are so low, among a couple other reasons that I'm not going to talk about. But so what I'm saying is, first time you guys get here, A is going to run, B is going to do nothing, then A is going to transfer into B, and as soon as A is done, B can jump right up onto the treadmill and take off. And these calorie counts on the ski erg should not take a minute. So everybody that is doing kind of like the superset of run ski erg should finish the ski erg with a little bit of time to breathe before they have to hop right back up onto the treadmill when their partner is immediately done, and then you go. So this is supposed to flow and ping pong back and forth very fluidly. It just starts with that, partner B not starting so that they make sure they do run into ski erg. You're going to do 3 rounds apiece, and then you'll transition down to the floor. You guys will have 50 core choice, your choosing, and 40 TRX bridge rows between the two of you. You go, I go. As soon as you finish your 50 and your 40, you're right back to the 3 rounds alternating, and you're going to do that again, back to the core choice and the bridge rows. You should get through 2 full rounds of this pretty easily in the 25 minutes, and the third round is really going to come down to just how aggressive you guys are being, on the floor, because again, a minute run is a minute run. You can't shorten that technically. So 2 full rounds. Make sure partner B, even the second time you guys get back up there, whoever partner B wants to be, maybe you want to switch it the second time around, has that minute off so that they're going run to ski erg.